This is Deductor, continuing the Unicorn Overlord playthrough. In the last episode, we liberated Castle Sodraga, and I am actually recording this the day before it's uploaded because I have ran out of a backlog. So today is the day when I saw news about a new Battle Brothers patch with 2 new legendary locations. How crazy is that? That after all these years, there's still updates to Battle Brothers, and I always get comments about going back to Battle Brothers. It's not that I don't want to go back to Battle Brothers. It's still, like, in my opinion, the best tactical game ever created. It's just there are so many other games, and I have played 2,000 hours of Battle Brothers, and I can still tell that there's places where I can, in the tactical map, improve. Because I have very little interest in the overworld, the build stuff. Like, people have figured out the builds, by the way, like, years ago. Like, the builds are all, like, perfected. There's nothing else to discuss in terms of, like, how to improve builds. I just do, like, silly things my way for the fun of it. But there are optimal builds, like build throwers, build tanks, build fatigue neutrals, and you win. That's not interesting. But the tactical map, I don't think has actually fully been solved yet, and I can see like places to improve. But it's really a niche thing, right? Like, you don't want to be spending 30 minutes killing 7 brigand thugs and min-maxing that, right? It's not interesting for most people. I know it's interesting to some people, but even I have my limits on tactical optimizations. And it doesn't solve, like, there's no solution to the fundamental problem I have left with Battle Brothers, which is it needs to be more like Slay the Spire. It needs to be more about not building the perfect team, because that's been done, but like, how do you beat the game with a imperfect team? Like, you know, the best Slay the Spire Ascension 20 players can, like, consistently win, not through luck. But like make the right choices with seemingly suboptimal decks and just get by. Like, at the end of the day, all that matters in that game is, do you win or not? Like, do you kill the heart or not? It's a binary mode. It doesn't matter like how good your deck is. It's meaningless as long as you can kill the heart. So Battle Brothers needs a mode like that, where it doesn't matter how good your team is, can you beat that mode? And there has to be some sort of time limit. Like, you can't just grind Slay the Spire infinitely until you get a perfect deck. Anybody can win. Even me, who sucks at Slay the Spire, can, like, win with a good deck. I never got past, like, Ascension 5. I don't know, that game doesn't click with me. But I can recognize that it's a skill-based game, and there's very little RNG involved if you understand it. And that's Battle Brothers. Like, there's basically, in my mind, no RNG involved in Battle Brothers, despite the fact that everything has dice rolls. But once you see the patterns, there's, like, basically no RNG in the game. Anyway, so that's why, like, I have very little interest in more Battle Brothers after that long rant that I'm sure, like, only 10 people have listened to this rant. That doesn't mean I won't do more. If I do more Battle Brothers, it would be some sort of over-explained video where I explain, like, how I really think about min-maxing the tactical map. And I would do stuff like, I'm only allowed to hire a brother of each background, and I can never dismiss them or intentionally get them killed. If I hire a farmhand, no matter how bad he is, I have to use him, and if he dies, that's it. No more farmhands for the rest of the run. So I can actually lose by just, like, losing enough brothers and having to deal with, like, truly terrible recruits and seeing what I can do with that. Which would be interesting, but, like, what's the win condition in that, right? Like, in theory, it should be the Crisis, but those are all too easy. So, and furthermore, you don't actually have to do the Crisis, right? It's not even that it's too easy. It's that you don't even have to do anything. And you can say, oh, the legendary locations, and that's a better argument. But I don't know, they're like always the same, right? Like, you know how to beat the Black Monolith. There's like a fixed strategy, and your team just has to be, like, good enough employing that strategy to win. So it's also not particularly interesting to me. I don't know. We'll see. We'll see what we do about more Battle Brothers, but it probably won't happen for a very long time, like months, or probably might not happen ever. Well, that being said, let's get back to this game, Unicorn Overlord, which is still an incredible game. I will be going on vacation soon, or, well, not vacation, like I'll be traveling. So you'll see the frequency of these episodes dip. Like after this one, there's not going to be episode the next day. And I don't know what the schedule is going to be, except there will for sure be more Unicorn Overlord, because I love this game so much. It's still new enough and fresh enough to me. I have not gotten bored of it. So, let's see what's going on. Hermit. I shall tend to the needs of our people in King Gilbert's absence. Well, that was not much of a talky talk. Speaking of King Gilbert, let's put you in charge of your own castle, buddy. And I want to know, do you like the replica swords? No. Okay, he doesn't like the replica swords. What would Gilbert like? Rock salt? Herbs? Music box? He might like music box. He seems like he would have sensitive skin. Hold on. Gilbert, 'tis a welcome surprise, Elaine. You have my thanks. Seems like he might have sensitive skin. But, I don't know. I think I'll leave the rest of the gifts. Brackenhold Soldier. That was some battle we had there. We'd all be dead and buried if not for you. Brackenhold Soldier. This was my first time in command of my own unit. I'm just glad we all made it out alive. Brackenhold Soldier. Well, I made it back home in one piece. Real challenge now is going to be collecting my pay. I've never been so happy just to survive a fight, I'll tell you. Drakkenhold Soldier. Glory to Drakkenhold. Glory to King Gilbert. Drakkenhold Soldier. Drakkenhold is in complete disarray, and everybody knows it. But things will get better now that the prince is back. They have to, right? Drakkenhold Soldier. We might have free Drakkenhold, but what about everywhere else? I'm especially worried about Elheim. Oh, how I love to meet an elf. Drakkenhold Soldier. The Drakkenhold army has its hands full keeping the peace throughout our kingdom. We couldn't spare a single soldier, even if we wanted to. That sounds about right. Gladiator. Gladiators like me can attack an entire row of enemies with one string of the old great axe. So don't line everyone up unless you want to see them get cut down all at once. Here, how about I show you what I mean? You should have taught this lesson like way earlier. We have to watch Virginia and Knights of the Rose dismantle these gladiators.
I can do this. As if I could lose.
That's right, Virginia. Gladiator. Great little fight we had there. Anyway, our wide smash skill deals more damage when we're at full health. So try and push the attack as quick as you can if you really want to make it hurt. Oh, and I'd be glad to go again if you ever want to try something out. Yep, I understand. I understand how gladiators work. Drakkenhold Soldier. The Wyvern Corps suffered some heavy losses in that last battle. It's going to take us quite some time to bounce back. Alright, nothing I can loot. Drakkenhold Soldier. Our losses were real heavy, but we've got to think it was worth it. Our home is actually ours again, for one. I'm sure everyone who gave their lives to the cause would agree. Drakkenhold Soldier. All of our knight orders need some serious restructuring. We don't have enough officers left alive to do it. I wish I could just take this armor off and get some sleep, but I'll stand however long I must in service in my country. Okay, this area is crawling with Drakenhold soldiers, as it should be, because we just liberated their capital. Pass through here. Oh, there's a cute little town here. Whoops. Exam. Do a skill. Excellent. Town girl, you must have traveled far to get here. Please try to rest if you have a moment. Soldier, as far as I can tell, Zenora's watchful eye has never reached us here. That's why life's just a little more peaceful than most anywhere else. Oh, isn't that nice?
You won't find finer
What do we
weapons in
got?
all of Drakenhold.
Dancer's Delight. That's a sword. Crit rate plus 10. Leaping Slash. Attack a single enemy. Grant the user +1 AP if the attack is critical. Grant the user -30% crit. How interesting. There's also some more silver bangles, which I might want. Dirty Gambler's Coin? Buffs a row of allies for their next attack. Oh, I don't like that -50 accuracy, but it's an interesting item. There's a regular Gambler's Coin that does the inspiration, but it's only one target. This is an AoE. It's, it could be interesting on high accuracy characters or characters you can't miss. Could be very, very interesting. I'm buying this Dancer's Delight for sure.
Much obliged.
Seems like we ought to be able to do something with that. I don't know about that coin, though.
Got a keen eye on ya.
Rock Salt,
My wares won't disappear.
we have enough Rock Salt. Deliveries, these are all auxiliary requests, so I could station a guard here, but there's very little like resources here. I don't know that we need a guard here. Alright. What else we got? One thing is, I can't remember what you have to do in Drakenhold to unlock the quest to get the... Oh, we never talked to these people? The quest to... get the statues, or the carvings rather. Sharon's gonna do her thing at the cemetery. She always does this. She always says the same thing. There's supposed to be a quest you unlock to go to, not the stone circles, but these no, not that one. Not the monument. It's this thing, the cockatrice carving, and then the reaper carving, and so forth. I forget what you had to do to get it, but I'll figure it out. I'm not in a rush. Old man. Seemed like a fight was coming our way, so I figured I'd pull out the old sword, just in case. Ended up pulling a damn muscle instead. Old woman. Something's really got my husband riled up. Feels like he'll toss on some armor and rush off to battle if I don't keep an eye on him. What are we talking about? An old sword? Could just be banter. Town girl. Some things might never be the same again, but we have to keep putting one foot in front of the other. It's all we can do. Townsperson. We've patched up all the houses that got destroyed in the battle. Now the real work starts. Girl. A lady with long blonde hair saved me from those scary soldiers. It was amazing. I want to be just like her when I grow up. Isn't that Virginia? Long blonde hair. Well, her hair is more white than blonde. You mean Scarlet? But Scarlet's hair isn't blonde. Who else could it be? Monica? Well, her hair is definitely not long. Chloe. Is your hair long? Trying to... Do you rotate again? Maybe. It could be Chloe. Seems like something Chloe would do. Yeah, seems it's probably Chloe. Oh, unless of course they're talking about Aramis. Could be Aramis. May have confused Aramis there with a lady. Soldier, it's barely been a moment since the battle ended, but the people of this town have already managed to repair their homes. The resilience of our citizens is really something special. Okay. There's the carving. Different carving. Mercenary. Thanks to Prince Gilbert, the Dragonhold banner is flying proud over the capital once more. From the kingdom back in our own hands, maybe I'll take some time off. Head home for a bit. Mercenary. Ugh, I barely made a single gold in that last battle. That's what happens when I'm up against wyverns. Cleric. That's enough of the mercenary life for me. The church will always be where my heart truly lies. Sword fighter. You may think me a fragile fighter, but I can more than hold my own in the front row. After all, my parry skill lets me repel incoming melee attacks. Try pitting a knight against me if you wish to see for yourself. I don't know, we need a knight, and Virginia already did a lot. Let's have Liza take care of these sword fighters.
I owe you.
Alright, yeah, they're gonna parry.
Gonna cut you down.
That's okay.
You little.
Yep, they're gonna keep parrying. That's quite alright.
Do you want to die? How tiresome.
You're done.
Be careful.
You asked for it.
Nice work, Magellan.
This should help.
Gonna cut you down.
You good?
Magellan knows about sword fighting. Sword fighter, I hope you've come to understand our strength by now. But remember, there's little we can do in the face of ranged attacks, so always take note of your enemy's formations. Yep. Alright, I think we talked to everyone. There's a gazillion report conversations. There's also some deliveries we can make. Fix up this town. Townsperson. A town this big can never have too many supplies, but thanks to you, the rebuilding is going better than I could have ever imagined. Well, let's see what we can buy here.
Find finer weapons in all of Dragonhold.
Pursuance bracelet. I know about that. Here's the regular gambler's coin. Searing rapier, fire slash, burn enemy. That's actually kind of interesting. It's only 3,000. It's quite a interesting weapon for someone who goes quick like Melisandre, or someone like Lex who well, he does need his defense up. Travis has a poison. I don't know. Seems kind of niche. I guess we don't have to buy it.
Got a keen eye on
Rock salt again. Now, is Berengaria the right person to put here? Where are Travis and Bruno? Because I want them all together. Where did I put? So Bruno is Bomrate. That kind of makes sense. Where is Travis? All the way in Cornea. I don't think he needs to be in Cornea. We can put... I want to put them together. What if I put them in the 3 towns we came in? Draybomb Town, Veston Town, and Mir Town. That seems like it would make more sense. So let's station Berengaria here.
If you say so.
There's also some loot we can have here. What do you have to say? Minor, I never did manage to meet the prince, though I suppose he's the king now, and back in the capital where he belongs. You think he'd grant me an audience if I work extra hard? The prince is technically in our retinue. He just doesn't want to see you, buddy. Alright, let's put Travis here.
Made the right choice.
And we'll put Prim, not Prim. We'll put where are you, Bruno? You know, this is not interesting stuff to record. I think I'll just. No, that's not the right person. Bruno.
Don't even have to ask.
All right, I'll station the guards the way I like them in some future episodes. Let's do our meals and conversations. That's what this episode should be about.
Looking to beat the heat, are we?
Got a
Let me know what
new
you need.
tavern. Got cheese-filled steak haché, fresh-caught seafood paella. That just looks amazing. I already want to eat that just because of that. And the garden fresh margarita pizza. Let's send, of course, Berengaria, Travis, and Bruno, the tricorns, to have their meal first. Where are you, Bruno? There.
You're gonna love this.
Would you look at that?
Go on, eat. I could get used to that.
Well, Travis and Bruno have maxed out.
Feel
Excellent. Travis and Berengaria have something to say now. Want to make sure they have some. Ho Gilbert has so much to say to people. Also need like maybe Gilbert can do the group of 5 conversations with like Elaine, Virginia, Leia, Aramis. That's actually pretty perfect. So let's do that.
Looking to beat the heat, are we?
So we'll do Elaine, Leia, Virginia, Gilbert, and Aramis.
You're gonna love this.
A fine tavern this is.
Delightful. Simply inspiring.
I'd be glad to come again, if you're paying.
Feel
I think that was Leia. Okay, and then we need a group of 4. Joseph is usually the one who lags a little there. But there could be other good candidates. We can do Berenice, Clive, Addo, and Joseph. That could be a decent choice. I don't see a lot of other characters can get 3 hearts. Yeah.
looking to beat the heat.
So Clive, Joseph, I believe Chloe, and what else was I gonna do? Addo or Berenice? Addo seems a little lower, so we'll do Addo.
You're gonna love this.
Shall we dine? Eat well, my friend. Is there enough for seconds?
Feel.
All right, very nice. So, and I'm gonna switch it up a little bit. I'll do the Feather of Archives, and I'm gonna do quite a few rapport conversations. So let's get to it. Events. Heir to the Dragonlands. Yeah, I don't think we read any of this. Elaine again meets with Gilbert, who speaks of his past plan to reclaim Castle Sodraga using his soldiers' frequent defections to Zenora as cover to plant spies amidst their ranks. Two princes. Before they deploy to battle, Gilbert tells Elaine of how his esteemed older brother had gone missing, and donning his father's cloak, Gilbert and Deliberation prepare to reclaim Castle Sodraga. Before the battle, Virginia asks to speak with Elaine and reveals that Aramis is in truth Ludwig, the lost prince of Drakenhold and Gilbert's older brother. She then suggests that Elaine speak with Aramis in order to convince him to meet with Gilbert. As Elaine and Gilbert approach Castle Sodraga, the throne room, with none other than Berengaria at its head, is in an uproar as word arrives of their imminent attack. However, a curious smile plays across Berengaria's face. As Berengaria is freed from the magic of control, she reunites with Travis and tells him she only joined Zenora for their ancient armor. Their reunion is interrupted by Gilbert, who realizes that Berengaria is the daughter of the prominent House Zexhelm. Gilbert recruited. Upon reclaiming Sodraga, the sellsword Aramis reveals himself as Ludwig and states that Gilbert alone deserves to be king, but Gilbert instead opts to enlist in the liberation alongside his brother. How nice. Drakenhold. Eventually, Gilbert and the Liberation continue their advance, ultimately reclaiming Castle Sodraga from Zenoran army. Gilbert was crowned the new king of Drakenhold and began to walk the path toward the nation's resurrection in earnest. Elaine. After a fierce battle, he and Gilbert succeeded in reclaiming Castle Sodraga, the seat of Drakenhold royalty, from Zenoran control. Leaving the reconstruction of Drakenhold to its people, he and the Liberation marched on. Travis, the eldest son of Drakenhold's renowned House Zexhelm. When the nation fell, his father helped him and Berengaria escape, and after endless struggles, the pair decided to put their combat skill to use as mercenaries. Berengaria. Under Zenora's magic of control, she became a different person entirely and was trusted with defending the royal castle of Drakenhold. After falling to Gilbert and the Liberation, she was returned to her true self. The eldest daughter of Drakenhold's famed House Zexhelm. When the nation fell, her father helped her and Travis escape, and in order to see her brother safe, she put her combat skill to use as a mercenary. Aramis, secretly Ludwig, first prince of Drakenhold. When his father bid him to flee during the fall of Castle Sodraga, he started a new life as a mercenary under an assumed name. Gilbert. After further strengthening his army, he took Fort Shus back from Zenora, and planting spies within their ranks, began plotting his march to recapture Castle Sodraga. Gilbert recruited. Upon reclaiming Sodraga with the Liberation's aid, Ludwig revealed himself to Gilbert, who chose to march beside his brother in the quest to restore all of Fevrith to its rightful rulers. Herman, Knight of Drakenhold, who, under normal circumstances, served as Gilbert's personal guard, but under the prince's orders, has taken the guise of a defected soldier and infiltrated Zenora's ranks. Guardian of Sodraga. After Gilbert emerged victorious in reclaiming Drakenhold, Herman refused all decorations and stayed behind to protect Castle Sodraga when Gilbert joined the Liberation himself. Ludwig, first son of Hugo, the late king of Drakenhold. He led the defense when Zenora invaded, but Sodraga fell after several key figures in their army defected, and Ludwig fled, assuming a new name and life as the sellsword Aramis. Count Zexhelm, head of a prominent noble house in Drakenhold, he was a fierce warrior who instructed the late king's two sons in the military arts. When Zenora invaded, he fought valiantly to protect Hugo before ultimately falling in the ensuing battle. As an influential noble in Drakenhold and close friend to Hugo, he was respected the land over for the high standards to which he held himself and others. He was a strict yet loving father to his two children, Berengaria and Travis. Drakenhold locations. Fort Shus, a fort in northern Drakenhold on the road to Castle Sodraga, and nestled between a vast stretch of towering mountains. It was once used as a training ground for Drakenhold's army. Swigger Town, large town in northern Drakenhold that serves as the gateway to Castle Sodraga. As it rests not far from the castle, its streets met with fierce battle during Zenora's invasion. Castle Soldraga, the seat of Drakenhold's monarchy, encompassing both the castle itself, which sits amongst a harsh mountain range, and the large city which sprung forth from its walls. After Gilbert reclaimed the castle, mercenaries gathered in search of work. Zenorva Town. Small town hidden away in the northern reaches of Drakenhold, accessible only from a nondescript cave to the west of Soldraga. Its existence remained unknown to Zenorva even after the nation fell. Okay, other? House Zexhelm. Prominent noble house in Drakenhold, which presided over the mountain range and surrounding environs to the south of Castle Soldraga. When Zenora invaded, Count Zexhelm was slain in battle and his 2 children disappeared. Ancient Zenorian armor. Magical armor created by the ancient Zenorian Empire, said to bear immense power and sell for a high price. In the present day, Zenora has laid claim to countless similar artifacts, but most pale in comparison to the awe-inspiring armors. And we know Berengaria has a set. How fascinating. Before we do the report conversations, you might recall there was a gate that we could not pass. Virginia. Gilbert said he's unlocked the gate for us. We should have no trouble passing through. More loot. A black diamond. This is not the start of the puzzle. New world map location. Drakenhold Sanctuary. The sanctuary is quiet and absent even the slightest hint of activity. I suppose I have to make for Elheim first, just as the great sage said. Yep. Okay. Whoops, that is not what I meant to do. Take a screenshot. The way to unlock the quest to, like, for the stone carvings, it has to be like in one of the runes that I missed. It's got to be like in one of these. I think that's usually what triggers it, and I must have just missed one somewhere. Is this the one? Yeah, there we go. I knew it. Elaine, another journal. Yana, hand it here. It seems to be a clue to an ancient treasure. And now that I've broken its seal, the carvings should respond to its presence. Come, let's consider its scripts and claim their reward as our own. Well, now I can do that quest whenever. I'll do it like during a simple liberation battle, something like with a lot of downtime. I don't really need the items right now to progress in the game, but I will get them. Just rest assured, I will get them. For now, let's do some conversations. We have a lot of Aramis conversations that we haven't had a chance to do, so let's see. Elaine and Aramis. Yes, let's do that. Elaine, I must know, Aramis. Do you still plan to continue on as a mercenary, even after the war? Aramis, I'll not be returning to the royal family, if that's what you ask. Elaine, has abandoning your lineage not proven difficult at times? Aramis, it has, though I believe my actions have troubled Gilbert far more than they have myself. At first, I struggled greatly to conceal my identity. After all, I had been instructed in the arts of the royal blade from a very young age. Yet in order to conform to my surroundings, I cast those teachings aside and begun to emulate the mercenaries around me, which was no small feat, mind you, given the inferior craftsmanship of their blades. But before long, I had found myself growing used to the metal's many defects. And as I did, I began to prove in a way that I needn't let my bloodline define who I am. Elaine, Aramis, it was all mere rationalization in the end, a vain attempt to flee from the errors of my past. With every swing of my mercenary's blade, I would question why I even still roam this earth. Why I should live, while my failings caused the demise of so many others. Yet death was not the answer I sought, not while I knew that Gilbert was still alive. And now, he has finally reclaimed our lands from Zenora's clutches, owing entirely to you. Elaine, 'tis not my acceptance he fights for, but yours, Aramis. Whether it be in his duty as your king, or simply as your loving brother. Aramis. Then it would seem I have no choice but to live on, both for my nation and for Gilbert. He's quite chatty. Now that we've liberated this region, yeah, let's do an Aramis and Leia conversation. Aramis, I must say, I didn't expect to be identified so quickly. And here I thought myself a more masterful liar than that. Leia, honestly, I did think myself mistaken at first. Your mannerisms aren't quite what I would call royal. There's no hiding the eyes of our late king. Aramis, I'd rather you not make the comparison. I've long since abandoned my noble blood. Still, it's only natural you see hymning me. I know you bore deep love for my father. Leia, then you also know I have to ask, why did you forsake his throne? As your brother has said, there are many among your people who wish for your return. Aramis, and you, Leia? What is it that you wish for the man who did nothing but watch as his father perished? Leia, well, until his dying breath, my king desired the prosperity of Drakenholt above all else. Yet I'm certain he would be grateful to see his eldest son survive this war, no matter how that came about. And I feel much the same. Now cease this senseless self-loathing, please. To be frank, when I realized it was you who stood before me, there was no anger in my heart, only relief. Aramis, which is why you kept my identity hidden, instead of using your knowledge of it against me, that is. Leia, what duplicity are you implying? Aramis, forgive me, I didn't mean to discredit your loyalty. In any case, thank you for not doubting my intentions, and for idolizing my father so dearly. Okay, what's this? Aramis and Virginia. That's going to be incredible. Prim and Aramis. These are all incredible. I don't want to just do pure Aramis, though. So what do you have to say now? Townsperson. The Divine Dragon is surely watching over us. Better polish the statue just to be safe. Bruno and Travis. Ooh, that's going to be good. But I think that's a 3-heart conversation. Ooh, Berengaria and Leia. Now we're talking. Leia. Do you recall when we first met Lady Berengaria? It was during a royal ball at Castle Sodraga, 10 long years ago. Berengaria. Sorry, I can't say I remember you. It's strange, though. I don't think I miss sight of hair like that. Wait a second. I was at the ball, but the only blue I saw was a little bird perched on the prince's shoulder. That must have been you, hiding in the dark of his shadow. Leia, a blue bird? Berengaria, they're supposed to be good omens, you know. When I saw one with the prince, I took it as a sign that things turn out just fine. Leia, and yet, it wasn't long until war broke out and our lands fell to Zenora. Quite far from the symbol of hope you thought me as. If anything, I was more akin to a curse inflicted upon the late king for ever daring to shelter me. Berengaria, easy there. I meant what I said. Well, I'm not going to try and pretend to know what the king saw in you. Well, let me tell you how I see it. A good omen doesn't automatically mean things will be all diamonds and roses. No, they're a little more than a reminder that nothing comes without hard work. Leia, motivation then, not a guarantee. Berengaria, just like the monuments we built after the war. They're not idle wishes for peace, but a warning of what might happen if we don't strive to protect it. But back at the ball, when I saw that bird, I thought about my family, about a life of happiness, and how hard I have to fight to make it real. Can't say I think any different seeing you now. Anyway, take care of that hair of yours. Leia, I will. Perhaps the king himself fought for much the same wish. Alright, we should do a Travis and Berengaria conversation. Oh, there it is. Travis, Ren, what's the vacant look for? Berengaria, oh, just thinking about some of these scars. Got more than I realized while Beltro had his hooks in me. Though considering how long that lasted, I'm just glad I walked away with all my limbs. Travis, did they hurt? The scars, that is? Berengaria, one does, sometimes. The one I got dragging you down from that tree, you climbed all the way up, but got too scared to make it back to solid ground. Travis, you're never gonna stop teasing me for that, are you? We were kids, Ren. Berengaria, yep, and we both ended up falling on our faces. I'm just glad you are okay. Travis, only because you shielded me from the impact. All our lives, you've put yourself in harm's way for me. Berengaria, taking my fair share of scars too. For it, too. But you're always the one cleaning up my mess. Travis, that has nothing to do with it. Listen, Ren, I'm sick and tired of you never thinking about yourself. Every time you go running off, it hurts bad. But you know what hurts even more? The thought of you suffering out there all alone. Do you even realize how awful it felt looking for you? For all I knew, you were gone forever. And if you were, well, I never have forgiven you for leaving me, or myself for letting it happen. Berengaria, been a while since I've seen you cry like this. I know an apology can't quite make up for what I did, but I'm sorry. And hey, we promise we stick together from now on, right? Travis. Like words mean anything to you. I know you'll just leave me again the first chance you get. Berengaria, Aw, they're not reconciled. Don't worry. We'll make them make progress. They'll reconcile one way or another. Let's have a more lighthearted conversation. What would be a lighthearted conversation? You know what? Tatiana and Hilda, I think. Tatiana. Hello there, Wyvern Knight. I see the fate of Palast still concerns you deeply. Hilda. Ah, Tatiana, was it? Tatiana, that's correct, and I have something for you. Hilda, what is this? Tatiana, the cure that Lord Gisling and I labored so tirelessly to complete. My man back in Cornea finished producing it only recently. Now, as you may know, the plague which torments this town is almost identical to the one which laid waste to my own. Thus, I'm rather confident our remedy will work here as well. Hilda, do you really mean that? Forgive me the outburst. I'm merely thankful is all. If only we had someone of your skill here sooner. Perhaps these people wouldn't have suffered the way they did. Tatiana, I doubt that very much. Our cure only came about through a great deal of sacrifice. A great deal of pain as deceased friends and loved ones were experimented on in the name of science. None can be spared the sufferings of disease. Hilda, even still, Tatiana, I've done horrible things over the years. Tatiana, yes, but only because you had to. Hilda, ... 6 years ago, refugees from the war came to live in my town and brought this cursed plague along with them. In truth, we weren't even aware it existed until many of our residents grew sick and eventually succumbed. Much of my own family among them. Tatiana, ... Hilda, before long, we learned the source lay here, in a rampant outbreak ravaging the region. Chaos has seen Palast by the throat, as had the deadly disease itself. Their lord had fled, their citizens rioted, and though I was but a mercenary at the time, I took it upon myself to restore order to these lands by any means necessary. Tatiana, a feat which earned you a place in Zenorin's ranks. Not as a soldier, but as a keeper of Palast. One who would ensure the plague spread no further. Hilda, that's correct. It was then that I imposed a strict quarantine on the town, ended the lives of those suffering most, and I did it with my own damned hands. Tatiana, you did what you felt was right, to combat an ailment which seemed unstoppable. None had dirtied their spears as you did, countless more would have fallen victim. All the same, your work here is not yet finished. Quarantine must stand until this pestilence is no more. Though rest assured, I'll instruct the local clerics on how to go about producing the cure themselves. Hilda, you have my thanks, Tatiana, for your kindness, your wisdom, and the renewed hope you've brought to Ompalast. Well, Tatiana may be creepy, but she is apparently an effective doctor. I'm trying to do all the Knights of the Rose. I have to do all their conversations together. Is there any conversation that isn't like super serious? They all seem kind of serious. Left. The only one is like Jeremy and Gloucester, but we'll keep some conversations in reserve. There'll be plenty more opportunities to hear what everyone has to say. Don't worry. Yeah, this is a good place to end this episode. Again, as a reminder, there will not be regular episodes for at least a few weeks. Like there'll just be episodes maybe like every other day or every 3 days or something along those lines. We'll see. Thank you for watching. Until next time.